Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great today, and thank you so much for joining me here on another video. I hope you're excited for this one because it's a really good one. Today we are talking about how to properly sell your car. Now, if you enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like and a subscribe. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So, first off, we need to start off by talking about the two different ways of selling your car. Now, you can either go private party or you can go to a dealership and sell your car. The dealership is good if you don't want to spend too much time selling your car. They usually pay a little bit less than if you were to sell it yourself because they're trying to make a profit, and usually if the car is worth one number, they'll pay maybe $1,000 or $2,000 less just so that they can have a profit when they sell the car. But it's easy and efficient. Now, if you want to get the most money for your car, I would suggest going private party. But it does get cumbersome sometimes and it can get long because some people do like to just go and drive the car, especially if you have a good car or a really nice car. They just want to test drive it and they have no intentions of buying it. So you figure out what you think is best for you, but we are going to focus on the second one, which is the private party. Now, once you figure out the way you want to sell the car, we need to talk a little bit about the steps you need to take when selling the car. So first off, you want to make sure that you clean the car. I can't stress it enough. Clean cars make a whole difference. So when you clean the car, it doesn't need to be perfect, just good enough that you can say it's clean, it's not anything dirty, there's no crumbs on the floor, there's no trash on the floor, it's clean, presentable. That way, when you go for the next step, which is to take pictures of the car, you know that you have a good solid base and there's nothing to worry about. So when you take pictures, everyone has a phone and most phones have a good camera, so make sure that you take really good and clear pictures. I would recommend taking them in landscape mode, but you choose how you want to do it. Those are just tips how to get better results, and I would suggest taking a lot of pictures. Now, I would suggest starting out from the front, then going to the back of the car, taking a picture of the back of the car, then taking a picture of each of the sides of the car, then moving inside, take pictures of the interior in the driver position, go into the passenger position, take a picture of the interior, then go in the back seat in the middle and take a picture from the back of the whole interior as one picture, and take picture of the center console where the shifter is, handbrake, whatever you have, storage. Make sure that you take a pictures and pictures of the seats of the car too, to show that if there's any rips or if it's not ripped. Now, when you take pictures of the interior and you're done, move to the imperfections. Every little imperfection, take a picture. If you a scratch or a dent somewhere, take a picture. If there's rust underneath, try to take pictures. Make sure that it's visible. If it's not visible, then don't use the picture. Just use pictures that are really clear and visible. Now, when you're done taking pictures, you can move to the next step, which is creating the ad for the car. Now, the ad needs to have a lot of details. Don't go overboard with the details. Just enough so that you give a good idea of what the car is like. Put the pictures in the ad. The title of the ad should be the name of the car, the year, the model, and sometimes you can put the engine. That's okay, no problems. Once you have that, you can move on to the description. The description, I can't stress enough. If there's anything that you haven't taken a picture of in the picture section, make sure that you put it in the description. So if there's a little ding or scratch that it's not visible or it's not worth doing a whole picture for it, just put it in the description, mention it, because anything you don't mention gives the other person a reason to negotiate the price and lower it down significantly. Now in the description you can put very important information, which is what is done to the car, when was it done to the car, hopefully not too long ago, because that is extra value to the car. You don't have to do that if you buy the car, but you also need to keep in mind anything that's wrong with the car. So anything that needs to be done or changed, put it in the description. If you don't put it in the description, people will probably find it, and if they find it, they're gonna use it as a way to negotiate. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you have everything that's wrong, that's right with the car. Add all the details of the car. I can't stress enough how many times people don't put every detail of the car. They don't put the make or the model, or they don't put automatic or manual. They don't put if it's gasoline, diesel powered, whatever it is. They don't put the engine size. And if you don't know all the information, you can Google search it. It doesn't take too long. You have better odds of selling your car that way, because there's more filters that can be used and it goes into more categories. If you don't put one thing, it can get excluded from one category. So make sure that you put the most amount of details as possible, so that you have a better chance of reaching more people. Once your ad is done, make sure that you have given contact information and given a way to contact you efficiently. If you don't want people calling you at night, make sure that you state it in the description of the ad. It's up to you, it's personal preference. You don't need to do as I say, but I'm just giving you tips and tricks on how to get better results when selling a car. Now, once you're done with the ad, you have to wait until someone decides to message you and show interest in the car. Once they show interest in the car, great. Now you answer their questions, you make sure that everything is good and clear with them, and schedule a meeting. When you schedule a meeting, you decide the location. If they're not agreeing with you in the location, it's okay. You come up with a location that works for both of you, because sometimes people come from far, or whatever the reason is. Make sure that you can agree on a location and a time convenient with a person. Now, when someone comes to look at your car, be friendly, be nice, be polite. If they ask questions, answer the questions. If you don't know the answer, tell them you don't know. Don't lie to them, because that way, if they find out it's a lie, you might not get a deal with them, or it's just not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is be honest with them and tell them what the situation is, and so on and so forth. When they test drive, make sure that they're nice and that they're polite, and they're not gonna do anything stupid, or they're not gonna act weird with the car. And once that the test drive is done, if they're interested, start negotiating. Ask them what they're willing to offer for the car, and then from there on you start negotiating. Make sure that you have a price point that you're not going to go below. So if you're selling the car for $7,000, let's say, you decide that you're not gonna go lower than 6,300. If they offer you less, you don't agree. You just don't agree. If you've been selling the car for a while and no one's paying that price that you want, then maybe it's too high and consider accepting lower than 6,300. But in general, if you have a price, don't go below it, because obviously you choose who you sell the car to. But always stay positive, stay polite, don't be rude, always try to keep calm and don't argue with the person. If you see them wasting your time, tell them this is the price, I'm not going under. If you have that money and you're willing to pay it, good. If not, the test is over and you can go home. I need to go home too. So break it off and wait for someone else to come. Now, once you've done all that, you will end up selling your car. So that's great, congratulations. Hopefully you got the amount that you want and that you got rid of the car relatively quickly. If you follow all the steps, you probably will get the car sold quickly because the ad is really important and also the way you behave with the person. Now, let's move on to some red flags. These red flags are really important because if you encounter them, just keep an open mind that something is wrong and maybe that they're trying to steal or scam you or whatever, just keep in mind. So first off, if you see that the person is not asking too many questions about the car, just looks around really quickly at the car and wants to immediately go for a test drive, they're most probably just there for a test drive. So ask them that you're only willing to do a test drive for people that are ready to buy it, so that they have cash to buy. The second red flag is if the person is really rude to you and really arrogant and keeps telling you that, oh, I saw another car that didn't have that and it was cheaper and so on. Just keep in mind that they're probably not going to offer you anything for the car, or they're gonna offer you a really low price. So don't extend the session too long. Make sure to wrap it up quickly. If they're interested, they'll give you a reasonable offer. The third red flag is when a person test drives the car and they don't care about the car. They drive it like crazy. Now, some people will want to rev the car and push it a little bit to see how it feels. But usually those people ask or warn you that, hey, I'm going to step on it a little bit just to see what the car is. That's fine. But if they keep driving it like crazy and driving like they're in a racing game, then they're probably really just there for the driving aspect of the car, but they're probably also not really that interested in the car. And I would say that don't waste too much time after the test drive, and you try to keep the test drive as short as possible and go back to where you started the test drive and go home, because you're just wasting your time. The fourth red flag is when someone messages you on the ad, with the ad, whatever it is, and they start negotiating right away. They want to lower the price and everything. Don't waste your time. These people, they just want to have a good deal. They don't care about the car. They probably don't even have the money for the car. That's why they're negotiating beforehand. So don't waste too much time responding to them. Tell them the price is non-negotiable. You need to come look at it. So that's pretty much it for what I can help you with when selling a car. I hope that I was able to help you. And now that you know how to sell your car and you've sold your car, hopefully, you probably need to buy a new car. So here are some tips and tricks on how to properly buy a car. Have a good day.